So you may have heard recently President Donald Trump decided that the United States was going to leave the Paris Climate Accord. And I know a lot of you have been feeling pretty disheartened about what this means for the environment if you live in the United States or even outside of the United States. Just know that you're not alone. And what we want to talk about in this video is ways that you can support the fight against climate change and also some celebrities that are in agreement with you. So off the top, Leonardo DiCaprio spoke out. He went to Twitter, he said, "Today our planet suffered. It's more important than ever to take action." Also, Elon Musk, Hal Penn, Neil deGrasse Tyson said, "If I and my advisors had never learned what science is or how and why it works, then I'd consider pulling out of the Paris Climate Agreement too."
So brutal.
He's brutal. I love this one from Full Frontal with Samantha Bee. I think Samantha Bee is great. She said, "He loves the ocean so much, he's gonna give us a lot more of it to appreciate. It's sad, but it's true." Chelsea Handler said, "I'm guessing that Donald Trump doesn't see the irony in making his announcement to leave the Paris Agreement while standing in a garden." And then John Legend, a little bit more to the point, he says, "Trump is our national embarrassment." But when you move away from being discouraged and disheartened, it's important to be proactive and take action. And I think that what we don't realize is there's a lot that we can do even outside of the Paris Accord to help our environment every day. And that's something that we want to talk about with you guys. I found an article from Refinery 29 and they just give a couple really simple tools for you guys to check out if you have the time. The first one is contact your representatives at all levels. What's important to know is that more than 180 mayors from cities across the US and from both sides of the aisle have committed to uphold the goals in the Paris climate deal. So do a little bit of research, urge your local representatives to establish climate goals for your city and make legislative efforts to meet said targets. Now you're probably wondering, how do I get in contact with them? This is very easy and it's inexcusable if you don't do. If you don't know who your congressperson is, go to Google and type in how to find my congressperson. Who is my congressperson? There are websites that will come up, you put in your zip code, it's very easy and it's important. They can help you, giving you a simple script of just to make sure that your voice is heard. So just because it feels overwhelming and kind of weird that I'm just a kid or I'm just in college, who am I to reach out to your congressperson? You are a citizen. It is your civic duty to stay involved and stay active. At least find out who they are. Learn which businesses agreed or disagreed with the deal. Now there's a surprising number of big businesses that did agree with the Paris Climate Accord. We could go into in more detail, although I'm sure that there are some Facebook originals and other TYT videos that talk about how renewable energy is a great new workforce that we should be investing in and how it's really good for a lot of things business-wise. But also, if an organization urged the president to leave the accord, and that's something that you're against, consider not supporting them because remember, money talks and you can make a statement with your wallet. Volunteer or donate to environmental organizations. I know that this is another sort of overwhelming thing. Where can I volunteer? Where are these places? I don't know. There's a really
I don't know how to install solar panels.
Right, I don't know how to install solar panels.
Really ground level
I've never
stuff.
built a windmill before. Look, it's way simpler than that. Head over to volunteermatch.org. That is a good place to start finding a good volunteer organization that suits you. And then a really simple thing you can do is just to speak up on social media and in real life, stay educated, stay proactive. And then I wanted to talk with you, Jack, about things that we do in our day-to-day life about reducing our carbon emissions and just being better and kinder to the planet in lieu of everything that's went down.
Yeah, I mean, you and I talk about this a lot. And I think one of the tough things for people is figuring out what actually has a big impact. Like turning on and off your light bulb is irrelevant, but like your food consumption or what kind of car you get or how much reusable stuff you use versus things that you just throw away on a day-to-day basis. A good friend of mine is starting a company called B0. And it's all about finding these little things in your life that you just throw away every day. So like metal straws or forks and Tupperware that you like folds up that you can bring to a restaurant. And finding what we do a lot is food consumption. How easy that is to change.
Yeah, that's an easy behavior to sort of modify that makes a huge difference with regards to water conservation. I know that I've talked about this a little bit and I fail at this regularly, but I do try and eat vegan as often as I can. And that, I'm not really sure how that got started. I know that part of the catalyst was meeting Sam Shocker and just seeing how she was sort of an effortless and just such a radiant vegan person. I never felt shamed or anything before I met her about, or when I met her about my eating practices, but she always had amazing skin and just ate really well. And so part of that was being introduced to it through her and then visiting the Gentle Barn and meeting rescued farm animals and kind of seeing like what they went through, and then learning about how the benefits to the environment of even just adopting a vegan lifestyle for a day. It makes such a huge difference on our environment. So there are many things you can get involved in doing. I think that there are also a lot of Twitter activists you can find that will tweet out certain links. And there are things that you can do online where you like just play a game and that will donate.
Like the rice thing, yeah. But I mean, even, I know like sounding like going vegan is like a huge thing, but it's one of the things that I do and we eat together fairly regularly is if I want red meat, I get chicken. If I want chicken, I get fish. If I want fish, I get vegetables. And it's just lowering that amount, especially with red meat. The joke I was making with someone when I said like, I don't really eat that much red meat anymore. And the comparison I made was eating red meat regularly is like turning on every faucet and shower in your house just all day, every day.
Yeah.
And that's an insane thing to do. No one would ever do that. But if you go from getting a cheeseburger to getting that grilled chicken burger, cool, you're not vegan. It's really not that much of a change, but you're doing a ton by just eliminating pork and beef from your everyday life. And I still have pork and beef occasionally, and I get like a nice piece of beef, or I'll get like some pork and have a delicious meal, but it's become very rare. It's more of a special treat than something that we should consume on a day-to-day basis.
Well,
it's
what
nuts.
what that comes back to is that we should not take our planet for granted. And I think that if you felt disheartened or discouraged about the United States leaving the Paris Agreement, like I know a lot of you did, just know that now is the time to be more mindful than ever about what you're putting in your body and how you are appreciating our planet and how we can help this moving forward. Just because the United States has gotten out of the agreement doesn't mean that our duty to the earth has disappeared. So we want to hear from you guys in the comment section below. What would you recommend doing to help? What are some places that you like to volunteer, hang out, whatever?
What are you doing for the earth?
What are you doing for the earth? Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and we will see you next time on Pop Trigger.